Any fight video and or photography used in this podcast has been used with the permission of the necessary entity or individual involved. Additionally, the opinions expressed in this program are those of the individuals involved and may not reflect those of Title Boxing.
You do not talk about Fight Club.
You gotta keep them separated.
Title Boxing Club Rock Hill presents The Punch with Dane McGuire.
And that dropped it just like that, walked right into that right hand we've been talking about it. And he's got the pillar that says, night, night. Don't blink. Down goes Joshua. Now goes Victor. We're not here just to take part. We're here to take over.
Hey everybody, what's going on? My name is Dane McGuire of Title Boxing Club Rock Hill and also the International Mixed Martial Arts Federation. This is another edition of The Punch. Thank you for joining me, and we're back with another trainer profile today. Tyler Roussin might just be one of Title Boxing Club Rock Hill's greatest success stories. Starting as a member of owner Heath Norton's class, he was inspired enough to give competition his best shot.
I started here as a member about 3 years ago and came to my first class because my wife drugged me here. I was 60 pounds overweight. I wrestled in college. I took about 10 years off after that from working out and doing anything athletic just because I thought I had earned that time and let myself go. I came to my first class here, and about 30 minutes into the first class, I was almost passed out on the side of the room.
I mean, somebody's doing their job right.
Yeah, it was Heath, so we all know Heath's classes, and it was a good one that day. And I remember sitting on the side, sweating my tail off, and struggling to catch my breath. And we leave the building, and my wife and I are in the parking lot, and she said to me, "Well, are you going to quit?" And I looked at her and I said, "No, I'm not going to quit. I suck at this. There's no way I'm going to quit." So I dedicated my time, and I dedicated some of my energy towards coming to classes every day, and finding times to work out and stop making excuses, and was able to lose some weight and get into some better shape and take it to another level. It was getting complacent. It was thinking to myself, I don't have to work out. I've done it for so long. I've earned the right to sit around on the couch and watch football and eat chips and not do anything. And You do that for a little while, and it's okay to do that on occasion, but then one day leads to a week, and a week leads to a month, and a month leads to a year, and the next thing you know, you're sitting there overweight and you're unhappy with the decisions you've made.
Once Tyler got more involved with the club, he started utilizing personal training. Fellow Rock Hill trainer Mimi Cutson was inadvertently his gateway to the amateur competitive ranks of kickboxing.
Once I was doing the personal training, my trainer cut me a deal and said, "Hey, I will work with you a little more if you work with a fighter who works out of this gym, Mimi, and I want you to be a sparring partner for her." So I thought, okay, this will be fine. I can go out there with some girl and spar with her, and she would kick my tail on a daily basis. And I just thought to myself, you know what? I need to see if I can push myself a little further. I need to see if I can do this. And I asked him, can I train? Can I actually take a fight? And my first thought was he would say, "Oh, you could do this in about a month." Well, the reality set in, and he said, "Give me 6 months with you." So I said, okay. And 6 months later, I took my first fight. I thought it would be one and done. I thought I'd do one, just prove I could do it. And it snowballed from there. We were going for 2 to 3 hours a day of training, and we were going 6 days a week. And it was scary. Each night you'd have fears and you'd have challenges, and you mess up in practice one day, and that sits in the back of your mind, and you think, okay, am I ready for this? Can I do this? And the first fight was, it was nerve-wracking. It was a lot of restless nights, not knowing what to expect, and, getting ready for that fight the day of, and working mitts in the back. I was sweating profusely. I was heart racing, and I went out there and ended up winning in the first round by a stoppage due to strikes. When you step out there from behind the curtain, they'll call your name, and when they do, your heart starts racing immediately, and your breath gets shorter. And it seems like the whole world is enclosing around you. It becomes a tunnel where you just hear noises in the background and you can see where you're going, and that's the cage or the ring. once you step in there, it seems like everything's going so fast. There's people moving you around. There's somebody putting Vaseline on your face and checking your gloves, checking to see if you have your mouth guard, and you're just nodding in response. You don't even know what's going on. Once they shut that cage door, the reality sets in. At that point, you know, okay, this guy's coming over to hurt me, or I have to hurt him. And that is a scary situation. You know, not a lot of boxers will talk about that.
Now also training with Logan Fight Club and still developing with a record of 3-3, he hasn't ruled out MMA either. After all, a challenge was what he was looking for in the first place.
The kickboxing started because originally I thought with my wrestling background I should try MMA. My trainer told me that if I get in there and just try to wrestle somebody, I'm going to get punched and kicked and kneed in the head, and I didn't really respond well to that. So we thought originally just to go with the kickboxing to build that repertoire up and then move into MMA. But I am 35 years old, and I am completely understanding that this probably isn't the future for me. But it's just something fun to do. So I've stuck with kickboxing just because that's where my wheelhouse has been right now. I've dabbled in a little. We've done some cross training at other fight gyms, and we've wrestled with them a little bit or done some rolling and some grappling. And that's my wheelhouse. That's what I've done since I was in 7th grade, was wrestle through college. And yeah, I could see myself getting into it a little more. From kickboxing to MMA is, you know, in kickboxing, obviously you're on your feet the entire time, and it's a stand-up game. With MMA, you have to worry about takedowns. Now, as a wrestler, I was fine with that. The first time we started rolling around on the ground, I thought this was great. But as a wrestler, you're not ready to be put in a chokehold. So I would shoot in for a takedown of some kind, and then, you know, I could take the guy down pretty easy, but I wasn't ready for the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu style of them being on their back and then choking you out.
The 35-year-old has sworn to his co-workers elsewhere that he is not going through a midlife crisis.
I do have a full-time job that I work, and I do the training here just because it's fun. My primary job is I work as a trainer for a indoor soccer company, and I work with youth programs mostly. And I enjoy working with people and teaching and learning new things. And with Title, teaching here was just a great opportunity. I feel like I've gotten a great experience from being here as a member. I feel like it's brought a lot of positive changes in my life, and I really like to show that positivity towards other people, and I like to help other people on their quest and on their journey. As far as becoming a pro fighter, I don't see that necessarily in my future. I'm just challenging myself and seeing how far I can take it. If that ends up being the situation, that would be cool. I was at a small school. The school is no longer around, but I was doing PE classes as well. There's obviously the kicks. That's the easy answer. But it's the, soccer is... The teamwork aspect is pretty interesting because even though you're fighting as an individual, you do work as a team with your trainer and your sparring partners and everybody else. So that teamwork aspect is really, really important. If you are out there sparring and you're just hitting your partners and using them and abusing them, nobody's going to want to train with you. But if you know how to work as a team and build on other people's skills while also enhancing your own skills, that's very beneficial to you. For me, it was something that was completely outside the box. You know, like I said, I wrestled back in the day. I wrestled in college. And then really at my job, everybody knows me as the funny, I'm kind of the funny guy in the office. I work with children, so I just kind of wanted to do something that was completely outside the box and surprise people. And even at my first fight, there was still, I'd say 90% of my friends and family that attended thought it was going to be some kind of joke or thought it was going to be some kind of almost like a bit that I was doing. They asked me what costume I was going to wear when I walked out, but I think it was just my personality too. I do like to have fun, I do like to joke around, and I wanted to do something completely outside the box for myself, just to show people that that I'm a little different than what their preconceived notions of me are. And it was great for me. The payoff was actually, A, I got the first win. B, as soon as I walked out, my friends and family, their jaws were wide open because they were not expecting to see what they saw. Like I said, I do work with children, so sometimes in training you do end up with a black eye or a shiner. And it was always funny when I'd walk in and parents would ask if I was okay, and I said, oh yeah, a ball hit me or something like that to just kind of defuse the situation. But my coworkers, they've taken to it. They really enjoy it, and a lot of them do come to the fights now.
Although Tyler came up short in his fight at the recent Shamrock 303 event thanks to a head kick, ultimately, he's on a better path and not looking back.
I've done a lot of really hard work over the years to get in the shape that I am. Like I said, I started out 60 pounds heavier than I am now, and I really don't want to go back to that. My knees feel better, my body feels better. You know, a day after taking a fight, I was still in the gym working out. Years ago, I could barely get in the gym after taking 10 years off. So to keep that momentum going is very important. It's easier to stay in shape than get back into shape.
Tyler says he's just going with the flow and taking whatever may come his way. His fight career is mostly about having the experience. The same reason he says those interested should try Title Boxing Club Rock Hill.
Right now, I'm still continuing with my training. I do my classes. I teach Mondays at 5, kickboxing. There's my shameless plug. My goal is take a little time off from this last fight, keep working with my trainer, keep working on my stuff, and keep sharing my knowledge and what I've learned and the lessons that I've picked up through the years of doing this, and keep working with the great people here at Title. It's a fun environment, and for me, the thing that I liked most about it was classes reminded me of going to practice when I was in high school or college. Yeah, you are going to work hard, but there's camaraderie. You'll meet people at the bags next to you. You'll meet people in the class with you. You'll find your time of day that you like to go, whether it's the 6 a.m. crowd or it's the 9 a.m. crowd or the 5 p.m. crowd, whatever one you go to. You're going to make friends. You're going to have people that hold you accountable, and it's a camaraderie that comes with it. Plus the bonus of, the physical fitness and just getting out there and being able to relieve some frustration of the day by punching something is just, fantastic.
Through the final days of March, we are offering a 90-day membership that includes unlimited classes and use of our open gym for just $299 for an individual and $399 for a family of up to 4. Well, everyone, that's going to do it for this edition of the podcast. I hope you enjoyed this trainer profile. See you next time.